Namaste. This is a very profound story that beautifully illustrates the journey of the soul. Once there was a blind man imprisoned in a large fort. Suddenly the fort caught on fire. Flames were spreading all over the place. The man, unable to see, ran desperately from gate to gate trying to escape. But to his dismay, every gate he touched was locked. In deep desperation, he cried, "Is there anyone who will take pity on me and show me the open gate?" A compassionate voice replied, "There are 8,400,000 gates, but only one gate, only one that is open." The blind man eagerly asked, "Where is that gate?" The voice answered once again, "The open gate is in the front wall of the fort, but it is very far from here. It will be very difficult for you to find it by yourself. However, I will guide you. What you have to do is to place your hands on the wall and keep walking along it. If you continue holding the wall, you will eventually reach the open gate and escape from this burning fort." The blind man then placed his hands on the wall and began walking along it. However, there was one problem with the man. He was suffering from severe eczema. His body itched constantly. Ever so often, he would remove his hands from the wall to scratch his body while he continued walking. Again and again, he would put his hands back on the wall and continue his walking. Finally, when he was very close to the open gate, the itching became unbearable. And once again, he removed his hands from the wall to scratch himself. As he continued walking without touching the wall, he unknowingly passed the open gate. Now, the opportunity to escape was lost, and he remained trapped in the burning fort. My dear sisters and brothers, what does this story teach us? From the Vedic point of view, every part of this story is symbolic. The blind man represents the human soul that lives in ignorance. The soul itself is pure by nature and it is conscious, but without true knowledge, it becomes spiritually blind. The burning fort represents this world where suffering, attachment, disease, and death constantly surround us. The 8,400,000 gates represents the millions of life forms through which the soul passes in the long cycle of birth and death before it attains the human body. Among all these forms of existence, human birth is extremely rare and precious. Human birth is very rare and precious. One may ask, but why? Well, because only in human life do we possess the intelligence and the freedom necessary to seek truth, to practice righteousness, and to realize God. The open gate represents liberation or moksha. But finding this gate is not easy. That is why the guiding voice represents divine knowledge, the wisdom revealed in the Vedas, which guides humanity towards truth. The instruction that says to hold on to the wall represents dharma, that is, the path of righteousness, discipline, and truth. If a person faithfully follows dharma, then he gradually moves closer to liberation, But what causes the blind man to lose his way? What causes him? What causes him to lose his way? It is the constant itching that distracts him. This itching, my friends, represents the many temptations and distractions of the worldly life, such as desire, greed, anger, ego, attachment, and sensual pleasures. These distractions often cause us to stray from the path of Dharma. Even when we come close to the goal of our life, these temptations can cause us to lose our focus and miss the opportunity for spiritual evolvement. Thus, the message of this story is very clear. Human birth is a rare opportunity. Human birth is a rare opportunity. God has provided us with an intellect, a mind, with the Vedas as guiding light for all humankind. But if we repeatedly abandon the path of righteousness because of worldly distractions, we may miss the opportunity for liberation, and we will continue wandering in the cycle of birth and death. Therefore, the wise person clings firmly to truth, knowledge, and dharma, and does not allow temporary temptations to divert him from the ultimate goal of life. In conclusion, the lesson is simple but very profound. Just as the blind man needed to keep his hands on the wall to reach the open gate, likewise, we must firmly adhere to Vedic knowledge, righteous conduct, and devotion to God if we wish to reach the gate of liberation. Thank you. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.